It's inevitable that there are toxic people around us in this world, rather, both in the real life and in the cyber platform. Now, any manga, light novel, or any game franchise fan would be happy with the idea of getting an anime adaptation, right? You know, at least to the essence, or to the degree where the thought of seeing and hearing the characters that you love so much come alive on the screen is truly a remarkable feeling. It fills you with joy, especially knowing that it has the opportunity, it has the stance to really reach vaster audiences who haven't watched or haven't even heard of the series yet. And when they take a look at it, perhaps they too could be interested in the fandom, or at least that's what we'd wish would happen, right? Because in today's time, fam, having an anime adaptation is like a gacha roll with only two choices. One where it is received well by everyone, both the core and the core audiences and the new audiences. Core being like the first audiences, right, or the audiences who are really most familiar with this already, with this material. Or it could ultimately fail, and fail to the point where it leaves you speechless of what just happened, or rather why it has happened, right? Why did it end up like that, right? There's a lot different factors come into play. And if you know your gacha games, well, the best pulls are the ones with the lesser probability of pulling up. So surely enough, the best outcomes, simply put, the best outcomes are the rare ones. But I guess it kind of depends as well, you know. And for simplicity's sake, let's just assume, right, that, you know, it really depends on the franchise, on whether it is something that is looked forward to, or really, you know, the best looked forward to piece of anime adaptation that's coming. And if that ultimately succeeds, then it's good. If it ultimately fails, well, that this is just sad, you know. But anyway, in the case of the 100 girlfriends who really love you fandom, or I suppose any fandom, right? The fandoms would contemplate on whether having an animated adaptation of the series that they love so much would be a good thing, right? And I've actually made a video talking about my thoughts if 100 Kanojo, or the 100 girlfriends who really love you, let's just call it 100 Kanojo, right, for short. If the series would get an adaptation, right? If you're interested, please do check it out. I'll leave a link down below. But what I really wanted to address in today's video is the sort of negative impact. In that video that I've shared, just told you about, I really talked about the positivity, or my concerns really on how it would go, but I never really mentioned much on this sort of negative impact from having an anime adaptation, and more specifically, the toxicity of the anime community is what I'm referring to. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that I'm not saying that the entire anime community is toxic, right? Because there's one thing I'm sure of, that there is hope, right? There are some truly genuine, cute, fun, and wholesome moments within it, and it's just, you know, it's just fun, right? It's fun all around. Like, let's just get along with each other, right? But even you can't deny that a lot of times you'd see, you know, a lot of these hates or negativity brewing from haters or trolls, so to speak, especially towards anime adaptations. They see one thing that's off about the animation, or I'm sure as hell, even if towards the plot or the story itself, then they go rant about it on Twitter or some other thing. Now, first I wanted to really give my theory on why, specifically, I guess, on anime adaptations, why can we find this toxic activity happening, right? Now, to what I think, or really this really could be it, it's that the anime medium, right, reaches a lot more people, right? It spreads, as I've said, it has the opportunity to reach vaster audiences. It spreads a lot more. I mean, like, it has more reach, right? Especially towards the new generation of anime fans swarming in, who jump into the anime train from all the mainstream anime such as Chainsaw Man, Spy Family, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, etc., so on and so forth. Coming in, then surely enough, aside from reading these original source material such as the light novel or manga, the anime would be, I don't know, I guess quicker, right, for lack of a better term, because in an anime adaptation, whatever's covered in the original source material is most likely to be there, or at least it has already the main idea, right? Now, needless to say that, of course, in anime adaptations, not everything is gonna be covered, which is one of the problems as well, as to why, it can suck at times. Look at Promise Neverland second season, right? But yeah, now going back to the point of that anime, this an anime medium, right, reaching vaster audiences, it makes it more susceptible to being exposed to these toxic members, right? And this has happened, as I've said, a lot of times in our time, with, for example, with the whole AOT, CGI, drama bullcrap, Demon Slayer, Tengen's harem, whatnot, yeah, and a lot more, right? It's ridiculous. Now, in the case of 100 Kanojo, right, what could go wrong? What things could go wrong? Now, let us first think about the right mindset to approaching a series, right? And approaching a series that we are unfamiliar with. Now, how I go about it, right, in my opinion, is acknowledge first that it is freaking fiction. Alright, it's fiction. It's meant for, I don't know, enjoyment, entertainment, particular audiences, one could say. And it's just meant to be, again, enjoyed by those who are enthralled by it, right? Needless to say that it also depends, right? Again, it also really depends on what anime it is, because there are some series out there that we all can agree is bad. Rental Kanojo. Now, let's take a look at Hyakuno, or 100 Kanojo, or the 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really love you. And yep, oh boy, this strikes a lot of weak points. The plot of the story itself, right, could be, I don't know, the absurdity of it rather, right? One guy, 100 girl harem, right? Mind blown. Two timing, and the girls just rolling with it, right? The wincest, if you know what I mean. The age ethics that come with it. The moral ethics, for that matter. And, essentially there's a lot of things in this series, aspects in this series that, people can find cancelable, quote unquote. Sorry, scratch that. Either way, people would just find whatever reason to cancel it, right? Hey, there's nothing but diversity or something. Cancel. This guy is, the MC is blah 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 blah. Cancel. It's stupid, really. They'll create something from this series to complain about and make a huge deal about it, because apparently that's the environment we live in right now. That's the environment in social media, right? It's absolutely terrible. Why do you think I have a plague mask as my signature icon? As an audience, you also have the right? You have the right to feel however you feel. You be happy, be horny, be bursting with rage. There's a million different ways to engage. But, yeah, stuff like that. But the way I go about it, right, is what really matters. Go about it in the sense of how do I project my thoughts, right? Critiquing something in a really respectful way is not so easy, right? In the sense that if you don't choose the right words, if you don't word yourself properly, then people would call you out. Or either way, they would call you out anyways if you say it's bad. But it is possible. I believe that it's possible to really construct an opinion, a statement where it's just my opinion, and this is what I think, and I hope I don't mean to be disrespectful to the community, right? I really believe that, that could happen. But I guess reflecting now, it's not on part of the audience that has to, or sorry, it's not on part of the critiquer to make the message or to construct the message. Of course, the one who constructs the message plays a great role, but towards the part of the viewers, the responders, those who wanted to make a feedback, they too in turn should be respectful of opinions. Opinions are there on the internet. They're everywhere, and whether it's good or bad, whether you think it's really crappy or not, it's at the end of the day, this is just what that person would feel, right? You could persuade them to change their minds, or make valid arguments and the like, but just don't be too attackful, fam. The toxicity is insane to the point where, like, trash talking within each other I understand the fun trash talking, right? Just for fun, right? The comedic aspect to it in a way, but it's still, there's still that level of, I guess, distastefulness when it comes to someone just being absolutely hateful, right? It's wild and wacky. But again, this sort of depends. If something is justifiable, then it is, right? But it's sad to see that people really don't understand it. Hyakuno is a rom-com manga that spins the narrative in a parodic, yet very substantial and solid story, filled with moments that can make you laugh, cry, mad, self-reflect on your life, whatever, right? I even made a video talking about this manga aside from the many other ones, right? This one in particular, this video in particular is a review of the manga, why I quote-unquote called it a mastery of the harem genre. If you're interested in it, I'll put the link down below as well, so free to check it out if you're interested, right? But, be it that some people may see this manga as, as something that is acceptable, something that is not acceptable, or something that that they're not into, right? At the end of the day, if you love it, you love it. If you hate it, you hate it. But the matter is that in getting an anime adaptation, the story could or might not be as impactful or complete. It doesn't have that sort of quote-unquote good first impression, or good build-up rather, to gain the audience's attachment and investment into the series, right? Else, if it's good enough, then they surely would take a look at the original source material, and if they love it, they love it, right? Or whatever they would feel about it. So it's that matter of having a strong first impression, right? One that will make the viewer take a look at the source material, aka the manga, right? And only then could they perhaps fully understand and appreciate it, But again, everyone has their own cup of tea. Thus, this is where that level of thought that, it would be better if 100 Kanojo, if Hyakuno didn't get an anime adaptation, right? Now, I'm okay with this series not getting one, if there's waifus, if there's continuation to the plot, then there's a way for me to be happy, right? There's still a way for me to enjoy it. I still enjoy it, right? I enjoy this manga as it is, right? I keep bragging. I have Data Live merch or Data Live signages here and there, but the one series that I talk about constantly in my channel is this manga, because this manga is the best. I wouldn't deny that seeing an anime adaptation or getting news about an adaptation would be kind of awesome, right? I'm not gonna lie, it's something that I really, 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 really love for to happen, I guess, yeah. But is it really worth the risk of, damaging the image of this beautiful series? Ruining in the sense that, people would throw a lot of hateful remarks about this, canceling it, so to speak. Yeah, that's the better term, canceling it. God forbid that would actually happen, right? Christ almighty. People are weird. It baffles me to what's the mental process, right, of people online, I suppose. Yeah, I know there are research topics out there that sort of, get a vague idea, or not vague, sorry, but a good idea as to how the psychology works. I don't know, I'm not so sure. But in the online platform, in the anime community, it's really interesting to see why people would put on so much hate. And I guess it's not only this not only goes for the anime community, but everything in general, right? It's weird. The world we live in, right? But we just have to keep at it. Sure, we could ignore it. We could ignore the hate and continue loving this series all the way through, because I sure as hell will do, right? Nothing can ever change my mind about loving the series. But as to how the general public would react to it, are we, as the fans, are we ready to accept the feedback or the aftermath of it? And with that being said, take care, family.